Greetings, one and all, and welcome to Channel Otherdoc. I'm Jim, your friendly Lacuna GM. I use he/him pronouns, and this is our Invisible Sun campaign, The Edge of Paradox. Hello. This is Invisible Sun is a surreal slice of life game by Monte Cook Games. We are integrating the directed campaign, but most of this game happens spontaneously. Let us go around and say hi to everyone today and find out who they are once again and who they're playing. And we shall start once more with Djinnaya. Hello.
Hello. My name is Djinnaya, and I use she/her pronouns. I will be playing Shah Gamelan, an established gallant of the Order of Makers who cages adversaries, also using she/her pronouns.
Might be helpful if you could hear me, wouldn't it?
I was like, what's going on?
I'm just speaking into the void now. That's really all that's going to happen now. Arras, hello.
I also have to unmute. Hello, I'm Arras. I use she/her pronouns, and I am playing Aroshka Ruzik, aromatic empath apostate who converses with everything, who also uses she/her pronouns.
Excellent. And let us move over to Anino. Hello.
How's it going, everyone? My name's Anino. I use he/him pronouns, and I play Mac the Husk, the itinerant enthusiastic of the Order of the Goetica who provides a vessel for spirit, they/them pronouns.
Awesome. And finally, Danielle. Hello.
Hi, everybody. I'm Danielle, and I use she/her pronouns, and so does my character, who is Vormeravanis, aka Vor, a connected ardent of the Order of Weavers who shepherds minds.
Awesome. And like we do with most games on this channel, we're going to be using the X card, the N card, and the O card. If we hit something that's crossing a line for one of us, any of us can type an X in the Zoom video chat or anywhere else, or make an X symbol, and we'll back up and do something else. If something happens that we're okay having in the game, but we don't want a graphic description of it, we can type an N in the Zoom chat, and we'll fade to black on it or put it behind a veil, so it'll be there, but we won't go into detail. Finally, if we're exploring a topic or an area of roleplay that is particularly intense for us, but we want to keep going anyway, we can put an O in the chat to let us know that we're okay and that we're all good to keep piling on the drama. Something else we can do is we can put an O with a question mark after it when we're moving into a difficult topic, or if we say or we do something and then think, maybe that might have been a little too much. Then everyone else can respond to that again with an X, an N, or an O, and let us know if we're still doing okay. So, when we last saw our folks here, it was a slightly different crew, in that it was Aroshka and Mac and Shantano, and Aroshka's old friend, a school friend, Obi, who was visiting. Basically was down in the area looking for answers to various things. One of those folks who likes to pursue life's questions, a maker, in fact. They went back to Aroshka's house, which had reappeared along with Limerence Street. They went in. And a lot of apparently that there were like low-level alarms going off, and a lot of things had been sort of smashed and thrown around pretty quickly. Aroshka managed to grab one of the security globes and talk to it for a little bit, try to find out what was happening, and the security globe wasn't sure, except that apparently there was a nexus that was leaking upstairs that had to be dealt with. And they heard a thump from upstairs, and they ran up, and there was a window open. And they ran out, and or Mac ran out and saw there was this distant figure in a blue coat with a sort of a hang glidery looking thing, carrying some sort of long thing in the distance, disappearing into a cloud. Apparently the house had just been burglarized by someone, and they hadn't really taken anything of too great importance. Just really, it was I think it was just a soul displacement gun. Nothing too big to worry about. And then, of course, they were looking around trying to deal with some things. There was a lot of sort of question about identity and memory and things of that nature. And there was a secret passage that was now standing open on the third floor in Aroshka's laboratory. They went in, and it went into a slightly different kind of space, but there, sort of on the side, there was this chamber that had a device in it that was referred to as an etheric nexus. Or rather, a chamber for housing an etheric nexus. Now, something that was kind of disturbing at the time was that this is something that should not be able to be built, because how do you harness ether in that way? Magical devices harness ether all the time. But you don't, draw the essence of that which is ether, the center of it, into a little globe in your house to power who knows what. But apparently Aroshka did at some time in a former life, back when she was a Vance, back before she left during the war, as many Vizsla did for safety. And so then they went further down the passageway, and it got into a slight dimensional distortion, and they were elsewhere. To look for tools to try to repair this nexus because it was leaking. They found a cabinet with tools in it, and they realized that this chamber that they found the cabinet in was just off of where, it turns out, the observatory is that they reached before when they were at the Eternal Party. The Eternal Party, a term which I've since realized, since I first started using that term, is actually, there's another one that's down in the Pale. That's according to canon, there's one in the Pale. So this is kind of a thing that's sort of a reflection of that, but not. Modeled, shall we say, on it, to an extent. But anyway, that was in Isabel's house. Or, well, her extra dimensional space within the tenement building. But they found that, yes, that's where it was. They were trying to figure out, okay, how do we do this? Mac summoned an angel in an effort to try to get some details on that. And all the angel asked for in return, once the angel realized where it was, once the angel realized where they were, they asked you just let me look around here for a moment and gather into intelligence. That's really all I need. Because this place shouldn't be here, but sure, go ahead. And that seemed harmless enough, and that was agreed to. So the angel did talk about sort of things that they would need to do, hypothetically, if they were trying to fix this nexus, which should not exist under any circumstances. The one thing the angel said they should not do is go through the center of the nexus. Unfortunately, this was exactly what Shantanu was doing at that moment. Shantanu went through into this area with sort of gray clouds, gray mist all around, and saw this thing moving up and down, snake-like in the distance, this slightly glowing thing. Wasn't sure what it was, but was able to stand there and figure things out and figure out where the sort of the center of things are. The idea apparently is to hook the gateway, the center of the nexus, onto this sort of like hook thing that is inside the globe. And not physically, but you understand. It's a metaphysical thing that happens. This snake thing eventually saw Shantanu and started arcing toward them. Shantanu bolted back out, escaped, rematerialized in that chamber as they were returning. They realized, okay, this might be a problem. We better fix this now. They tried to fix it. They came very close to fixing it. Unfortunately, they did not get the successes they need. They got one of the 2 successes, and the other was 0. And so then we had this moment where this alarm started going off, and containment of the Nexus was utterly disrupted. Everyone raced out of the house, and they got to see another big bright column of light come tearing up through the top of the book into the sky with little sort of strange things flying off from it. And then the book's pages riffled, giant book's pages riffled, the book house. It slammed shut and then ended up just sort of lying now at an angle. And that's where we left off. I think we're going to say that a certain amount of time has passed since that happened. Obi has gone off to just continue his journeys. I believe he did advise you folks afterward. There was a little note that he told, I think, Eroshka. But possibly, and Eroshka might have shared this with the others, but this is something that sort of happened immediately after the session, so it's sort of an in-between. But you were provided with the name of the maker that helped you build all of those things up in your study, these various things that are totally not WMDs, and other hypothetical devices as just kind of prototypes. And so you have that name, and I can give that to you again if you need it.
Yeah, I don't think I wrote it down. Did
okay.
I? Maybe I did.
I can totally grab that name. I just need to open the...
Oh, I did write it down.
Okay, good, excellent.
Do you want me to say it out loud?
Well, I think what I'd rather do is wait until you meet with Shah again, and then see what happens when you say it out loud. I think I'd much prefer that.
Oh, okay.
So my question, though I do seem to be trying to steer here. I don't wish to overly, but do you folks want to do the thing where you hang out, wait a little bit for Shah to get out of the hospital, and then meet, or what do you want to do?
That works for me.
Vor, where did we leave you? Do you remember by any chance?
I departed after Limerence Street came back.
Okay, yes.
Actually, I don't think I took Vor. I think I took Shah to the hospital, actually.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, no, that makes sense. So
I'm already at the hospital. I'm like sitting in the waiting room.
We were drinking champagne in the back of whatever the Saturnine ambulance equivalent was.
Champagne cures everything.
Wow, it's an ambulance that lets you have champagne.
Let is a strong
let
word.
us. Yeah.
They brought their own.
Yeah.
Vor doesn't go anywhere without champagne. Let's just say that.
Why would you?
Yeah. Shah has that bracer that allows her to summon unnecessary small objects. So she just made like a small cup. So Vor just pulled some of the ever-filling champagne glass in there. Cheers.
Cheers. They're just drinking champagne. I mean, we gotta get Shah nice and like numbed up, right? So that Shah doesn't feel the pain anymore.
Yeah. I mean, I had some anguish to heal. I had an anguish and a wound to heal.
Nothing
so
better than a little. Yeah. No, this is definitely what happened.
Champagne definitely heals anguish. I, Djinnaya, am positive that champagne heals anguish.
We healed the anguish with champagne, and then we took her to the actual hospital for the wound.
Take 2 Corbels and call me in the morning. Let's see. Let me just open this thing. There's this strange document that says rules reference on it. I wonder if it has anything useful in there.
Wacky.
Damage and rest. Wait a minute. There's a section called damage and rest. Maybe this will tell me something. Did you actually have a wound? You had an anguish and a wound.
Yes.
Okay. A wound or anguish can be negated in the moment it happens by spending 1 penny from physicality or intellect, respectively. The character gains a scourge in every cert stat pool for each wound and a scourge for every anguish. It does not actually say how to get rid of
So, in the gate on page 32, it says, as an action, a character can spend bene, blah blah blah, to recover injuries that have not yet become wounds. This is for injuries already sustained and is different from using physicality to negate wounds. Characters cannot recover wounds using physicality after the fact. Instead, a character can use a 10-minute or 1-hour rest to recover from 1 wound or 1 anguish. PCs have 1 such rest of each type each day.
Okay.
So that sounds like I could take 1 day, and in that 1 day, I could use a 1-hour rest and a 10-minute rest.
I mean, yeah, I think that probably the whole point of the hospital would be just to sort of make it so that that process is easier and faster.
Right. Well, and I imagine the hospital is not very hospital-y. I imagine the hospital is more like in my mind, it's something that, you go to a hospital because it's clean, that the hospital in Saturnine is really just like clean rooms where you're not going to end up with really messed up magic, like all the magic that's in there, all the energy, all of the ether that you can pull off of is not mixed with other stuff that might infect your wounds or infect your anguish. So you have like space to heal.
Yeah. I think that might be one of the other reasons why healthcare is free in Saturnine. It's because they don't actually do anything. They let you heal yourself. They just keep things from messing with you so you can heal yourself.
Well, and because oddly, in the actuality outside of the gray, it makes no sense to let people just die because they're poor.
Right,
Wacky.
yeah. I mean, why would you do, yeah.
Breaking my suspension of disbelief here.
Oh no!
Sorry. Ruiners.
Quick, we must put it back again. Here, I've drawn a card. The Whispering Lover. Love, romance, partnership, loved ones, relationships. Love represents the strongest of bonds, romance, family, and deep friendship. The intimacy inherent in the whispers of a love is rare and valuable. We seek love, and once we have it, we fight to keep it. The Whispering Love represents those people in our lives that are most important to us. Doesn't have to suggest romance or any kinds of positive relationships. Like, no, Whispering Love always suggests in a bonded place. It will form very soon, but it can be a positive or negative one, depending on opening cards. So I suggest relationship quest remains strong, ends, face, challenge, and so on. This card turn essentially just brings the relationship into play. So actually, a thing that I just want to ask is, so when they take you to the hospital, the House of Healing, they ask you if there is anyone you want them to contact.
Oh.
Because they get to, I'm going to say they have like kind of a free sort of access to the noosphere here. They have someone who does that sort of as a dedicated thing, so that you can let anybody know for whom it is important. They can summon them to basically let them know that you've been injured.
That I'm in the hospital?
Yeah.
Shaw has like one connection that's not this group of people and not work friends who she wouldn't want to appear broken in front of. And that's the angel that she plays cribbage with in the park. But I think that she wouldn't contact him.
Okay.
I think that Shaw is so good at like being alone that, especially when, like only being around people when things are together, that I think that her immediate reaction would just be like, why would I do that? No, No, I'm not going to tell anyone that I'm here.
Okay. Okay. So, yeah, there is going to be... Yeah, they basically have a thing where it's like, okay, we can, like... Are you sure? Because we have a means whereby we won't even know who it is, but that... And even maybe you don't know who it is, but we can send for them.
I don't know who it is. So you just summon the person that I need to have here.
In a sense, yes. We can try to summon whoever it is that is important to you, whether you are conscious of that or not. We could do that.
Well, I mean, absolutely. That sounds fascinating. Do I have to write a note? How do I do this?
Well, it's very, very simple. We can just and this is someone is sort of standing there with this little sort of and they're like, give us just a moment. And they summoned this lady's wearing this person who's wearing a veil, and you can't really see anything about them, but they've got their own white, and they're carrying a crystal in between their hands. It's kind of like this. And we'll say, and they'll just sort of lean forward with it, and they'll ask, "Who are you?"
I am Shah Gamelan, an established gallant of the Order of Makers.
Thank you. They take it, and they head out of the room.
Or just quietly refill Shaw's champagne glass.
Now, this is the part where I'm thinking, I'm trying to think, who do we think it is that's going to appear? Okay, I have an idea. But, so what I think is going to happen, you can veto this if you wish, is that it's going to seem as though no one is coming.
No, that's perfect. That's perfect. Yeah, I think that Shah goes through this whole process of reassembling her hair and reassembling all of her stuff and waits, and then after a while it's just really awkward. And I imagine Vor is still sitting in the room and is kind of maybe I should.
Vor passes out on the chair.
Oh yes. Vor's just sound asleep.
Yeah, Vor just goes to sleep in the chair after an hour of waiting.
And Shah's just kind of that is not surprising. That is the answer. At least I was right. I was correct. I did not need to call anybody. That was correct.
Yeah. All you basically will hear is this. You get this message that sort of floats in. That just it's this little note that says we were unable to reach the target of the spell. There was no response.
Is it a physical note?
Yes.
I take it and I roll it up into a very, very small tube and I stick it in my belt.
Okay. So, what I'd like to know is, when do you folks want to meet up next, or how do you want to do this? Do you want to wait until Shaw is out of the hospital? Do you want to just go and see her at the hospital, or how do you want to do this? Or if there's something that Mac and Aroshka want desperately to do before any of that, that's also possible. Just let me know.
Oh, well, Mac was going to try to swing by Derran, the Pneuma's place.
Mm-hmm.
Now that business with Aroshka's bookhouse has now come to a very poor ending.
It was great.
But
We only blew it up.
I mean, we only blew it up. But he needs to be rediverted or again delayed again to from go visiting Derran because he has to go catch up with Shaw. That can happen.
Well, we could also just do it after I leave the hospital,
Well, yeah.
right? And we could just
You can meet up back on Limerence Street if you want to. Yeah.
I mean, that is where Shaw would go after, like, getting a clean shirt.
I can, while you sleep, Vor wakes up early and goes and gets you a clean shirt from your mine.
Oh, you're very kind.
Brings it to you.
Excellent.
Yeah, so we could just go straight because I would want to look for the foreman as well.
Yep, and I've got
It's still
a
missing.
Jaren's office that I need to go look at as well, which is
So we could definitely meet you and give you back up to go to
Yeah.
the Pneuma's house.
And there are a few different ways we can do this. One of which is we could just simply say that due to the time distortion that took place inside the observatory, that perhaps that happens immediately after the house explodes. We could do any number of things with that. So we could say that. Let me actually look at Limerence Street again real quick, just so that I have this in front of me. Okay, yeah. So yeah, I mean, you can easily just agree to just sort of meet them by the by that column at the center of Limerence Street. The column with the dancing figure on top.
Cool.
And as you're preparing to head to Darren's place, which is actually very nearby, I believe. Yep, Darren's house is like right next to that. So we will say that after finally, recovering and sorting things out and taking a little time psychologically to deal with that whole book explosion type deal, that you head over to toward Darren's place, and that is the point at which Shah and Vor will be returning from the hospital. So you all see each other there.
raises her champagne glass.
I guess it's 5 o'clock somewhere.
It's always 5 o'clock in my house, Mac. I had that changed.
Yeah. I guess it suits you.
It does. Anything interesting happened while we were gone?
Yes, have you found the best things on Limerence Street yet?
Definitely
So
some things happened.
Yeah. Oh, you healed pretty quickly. I mean, felt like we were only gone for like 2 or 3 hours.
No, it's been 2 days.
Seriously? It's been 2 days?
Did you? Shaw immediately looks down and like opens the cover over the cage and looks to make sure that the little time demon is still inside. I'm like, oh my gosh, I thought that thing had come after you again.
No,
Was it not 2 days for you?
no, it would seem more like a bad afternoon. We went to Aroshka's old house and then saw something very, very dangerous. And then it all blew up.
Your house blew up?
Well, it was the old. I don't live there anymore, so it's okay, probably. I feel a little bad though, because I definitely told the books that I would get them out, and then I didn't do that.
Oh.
Be okay, Arashka.
They were good books.
I'm sure they were good books.
They're all
Was it-
good books.
It seemed like a nice, cozy place. I was actually thinking of might move in and house sit, but it's all gone now.
Well, I'm so sorry. That's very sad.
Yeah, it might be a good thing though. Actually, there was also a lot of really dangerous stuff in there.
Really?
And that's gone now. Well, most of it. Somebody stole something first.
Wait, there was a burglar in your house when you blew the house up?
Well, no, the burglar escaped, and then we got into the house, and then there was an emergency because this thing that's not supposed to exist was broken, and then we tried to fix it, but it blew up.
Nearly took
Goodness.
Shantano out too.
A bad afternoon indeed. Wait,
Yeah.
Shantano's gone?
No, only almost.
Oh.
All right. So what are you up to now then?
Well, I was hoping to stop by this Derran of the Pneuma, get some information from him.
That was your house? You look around and you see Thomas is now hovering just a little ways away. And actually you look sort of past him and you can see that just on the street opposite there is this old ramshackle house that might be the one that he was talking about.
Oh, hey Thomas.
Hi.
Well, we finally got Limmern Street back for you.
Yeah, thank you. I was able. All the stuff is still there. He says, pointing back at the house. But I heard a thing kind of like blow up or something, and I was worried. Did your house blow up?
Yeah, that
I'm
was the
sorry.
thing that happened. It's okay. I didn't live there anymore. It was abandoned, so.
I know. Yeah. That's been my place has been abandoned a long time too. I think my parents are in the Pale. And I don't know how to get to them. But thank you for bring the house back. That's that of them anyway.
Were your parents here when you saw Limerence last?
No, I don't know. No, they passed on. They passed on the Pale. And I think, yeah, but I just don't remember as much about them as I did, I think, when I was alive, and so I just wish I could see them again. That's all. But thank you, because now I can at least there's like pictures and stuff.
Well, maybe, I mean, we have this whole world-ending thing that's a little bit important right now,
Okay.
but maybe we could stop by and you can show us some of the pictures, and then maybe that will help you remember if you tell stories about them. I know sometimes when I
Okay.
can't remember things, if I tell stories, it helps me remember them.
Oh, okay. That'd be good. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very
Shaw
much.
just looks around at everybody else like, I don't know how to child.
And Board just kind of tacks on. She's like, and if we ever have need to go to the Pale, we can take a message or
Okay.
see if we can find your parents on the way. She just looks at everybody and just kind of shrugs, like, I don't know if we're ever going to go to the Pale, but I mean.
He's like, okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. And he actually will come up and he will actually approach Mac and kind of just sort of do this ghost hug thing around sort of your midsection where he's like,
There.
and it's like he floats back and it's like nods. Thank you all very, very much. And he sort of is, and at this point he sort of fades out. Yeah, at this point also, this is where something kind of weird happens. Now is when something kind of weird happens. I need to not use anything like weird or strange or odd, any of those phrases, any phrases connected to that while I'm running this game.
I was going to say, is that not the whole game?
I know, it is, so it's redundant for me to say that. But so, like you see someone like this sort of a fishmonger carrying this, pushing this cart of fish, who is like just walking past and looks up and stops and looks up and says, "Thank you all very much. I knew you could do it." And then he immediately turns and starts pushing the cart again. And then yeah, it's it is weird because it's like he just does it and then he keeps moving on.
Is it someone we recognize?
Nope.
Huh.
How did he know that we did anything?
No. That's...
And I knew you could do it. Sounds like he asked us to, but...
And at this point... Sorry, go ahead.
Did he leave? Like, is he like...
I mean, he's still trying to... He's not moving very fast. So you can still see him.
Board just sort of shrugs and says, well, it's nice to be appreciated.
Then there's a woman with a woman with a parasol who is walking by, who just again stops and turns and says, "Oh, you probably don't want to tell them too much about this. They don't know that it was ever gone, But I thank you very much, just the same." And then again, she just sort of turns and then continues walking with as though.
Tell who?
And she turns back and, "Excuse me?
Tell who?
What are you talking about?"
Oh, nothing. I'm sorry. Good day.
I understand what you're saying. And then there's this fellow whose head is like a giant eyeball, who's sitting on a bench nearby. Who says, "You can keep the looking glass, by the way." It's just a guy, and he's sort of sitting there with a cane.
Are you Axon?
Well, not what you see before you, but yes.
Are you literally the street? Are you like everyone here?
Yes. And the eyeball just sort of shifts and looks up at Eroshka. Well, I knew you'd make it back home eventually.
Have we met?
I helped you get to your. I helped you find your house when you first came back here.
Oh.
That was me in the flesh. That doesn't exist anymore.
Oh,
My condolences, I guess.
It's all right. It's
Incidentally, her
just,
house doesn't exist either.
I mean, it's still there. It's just on its side now.
The sacrifice was necessary, but oh, did anything get out?
Yes.
Well, that's unfortunate. At least we managed to nail the seeker down, though.
True,
That
we
was
did
the-
do that.
That was the big one.
Wait, was the seeker originally in Eroshka's house?
No, not. No, they, not exactly. Well, yes, but also no. It's hard to explain.
Shah just looks at Eroshka and says, "You shouldn't keep things like that in your home."
Well, I don't anymore.
To be fair, I think I think the Seeker wasn't even the top 5 most dangerous things in that house.
The what got out?
What is it called again? It was the soul.
The soul gun?
The soul displacer, I think, is what.
Yeah, the
Soul
soul displacer.
Ominous.
Wait, you actually built that?
Apparently, I don't remember a whole lot.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, especially
try
since
to-
I think
I did try to warn you about that.
apparently old Doroshka doesn't like listening.
No, she.
Oh,
well, she
okay.
was very focused. But
And driven.
it's. But, well, no, it's okay. You shouldn't. You wanted to change.
Well, I did do that.
You wanted it, so. You weren't as happy as I recall. But afterward, well, things started to get better, and then, well, everything happened. The war and all that, but that's, I think, part of the reason why I was so pleased to see you when you came back, is I had hoped that the time in shadow had done you some good. I think it did.
Yeah, I hope so.
But I've been inhabiting this poor fellow for too long. As thanks, there's a, so there is a, something that I will no longer have need of. It's in a, it's behind a loose brick on the back of my tower. He says, just sort of gesturing, and you see this, it's kind of like a wizard's tower, but not exactly. It's not exactly like the one on the map. It's one that I've placed in my imagination on the map. He says, it's in that place that's very close to someone, well, I think, actually, and he gestures with his cane to Mac, someone I think you used to know. Possibly. I'm not sure, as this was pre-war. But behind the tower, there's loose brick. It's at about eye level, and you can have what's in there.
Thanks, I think. I guess we'll go check that out now.
Thank you all very much.
I guess as before Axon leaves, quote unquote, as much as Vor can lean in to someone who's like not really there and say something kind of quietly, and Vor says, Axon, I heard you also had a run-in with a rectifier.
Yes.
That you were curtailed.
That was rather an adventure. I seem to recall somewhat.
Do you know who did it to you?
Sort of looking into the middle of distance. Oh, you're Vor, aren't you?
Yeah.
Do I want to do this? Yes, of course. Have you seen Varigan? How is he?
Oh, yeah, Vor just like takes a step backward, like almost like a physical blow, and then kind of shakes herself a little bit and says, Varigan is deceased, at least for the time being.
Oh no. I'm so sorry.
He was already beyond our help when we found him.
Damn. This is all my fault. And the last thing I wanted to do was to cause you more misery, which
More misery?
Well, I'd heard that the two of you, well, never mind. I don't want to bring all that up here.
When, what other time have you caused me misery?
He just sort of is leaning back for a second. Whilst Jim really quickly opens this other book so that he can have this answer in front of him that he needs. Invisible Sun, 90 million books. Let's see. Okay. And he sort of leans back. Infalosa. I'm pretty sure that was who it was. Infalosa.
Impalosa?
Infalosa.
Infalosa.
Yes.
That's who curtailed you.
Us.
Us.
Yes, you and I.
Do you know why?
Fairly certain. Well, that part is not clear to me right now.
Do you remember who Infalosa is? It's not a name I recognize.
Yes, she's... Well, it's on the tip of my... This body doesn't have a tongue. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. He just sort of sits there, so kind of staring, his giant eyeball staring down at his cane.
Or what?
What's that?
Nothing. I'm sorry. Sorry to bother you.
What are you youngsters doing staring at me like this?
I'm terribly sorry, sir. And Vor backs up and then sort of looks around her at the whole street and is like, this conversation isn't over.
Traffic seems to have gone quieter. I think you're muted, sir.
Well, I don't think he can hide again. Well, let's hope he doesn't try to hide himself again.
I suppose you can refuse to talk to me.
Well, to a point.
Anyway, let's go check out the tower really quick, and then I gotta go see a man about a thing.
All right, that sounds sinister and or fun.
Why not both?
It's funnister.
Sinister. Shaw looks disapprovingly at your portmanteau.
Sinister fun.
We'd be lost without these gems.
Oh my god.
So can we see this tower from
Yeah,
here?
absolutely. It's it looks not so on the map of Limerent Street there is a thing that looks like a big tower spiraling thing. It's kind of similar to that, but it's so it's kind of similar to that, but it's smaller, and it doesn't have the stairs on the outside or anything. It's actually much more. It's not nearly as tall as that one, and it's behind that. It's behind sort of that. There's a central. There's a 1, 2, 3, 4. There's like a 5-6 story building near the back of Limerent Street that you can probably see. It's behind that, which is why you cannot see it on the map. Yes, that's it.
Got it.
And so yeah, it's just down the street. You see this tower. You head around. I assume this one is made out of bricks. It's got sort of 2 pillars near the front with orbs atop them that hover, actually not quite on the pillars. Actually, they look not dissimilar from Eroshka's orb. And they kind of, Eroshka, the 2 orbs atop the pillars see you coming, and they're like, oh crap. That's kind of their reaction. Do you go around the back, or are you doing something else?
I think we go around the back.
Okay.
Unless Aroshka wants to poke at the floaty orbs.
No. They don't seem to want to talk to me.
Here.
Do you think Axon actually occupies this tower?
Well, he said he didn't have a physical body anymore, right?
Sounds like he's the street now.
I mean, I don't know. He did still say that it was his house. He didn't say he didn't need the house.
Well, it's his old house, isn't it? Before he lost his body?
I
Well,
guess that's true. So I don't know. It might just be an empty house.
We've been referring to the giant book as my house, even though I haven't lived there in a long time, so... Maybe
Is there
he's
an
just
entrance to this
staying
tower?
the same way.
So yeah, there is a it's the door. There's a door, right? It's a wood paneled door right between these two orbs atop pillars.
Oh, let's get the item first, and then decide whether or not we want to break in.
All right.
Okay. I think we can't break into the house if it is still Axon's. Well, okay, let's walk around the back.
Funnister.
George just like takes off.
Oh my god.
Drinking champagne.
So you come around. Oh my god. You come around this thing. Some of you kind of vaguely remember having seen this before, because part of the whole conceit here was that Axon actually did know each of you, so you've all kind of been here before. It's just it wasn't anything majorly worth mentioning at the time. But now it's sort of like, oh, this is Axon's place if you've never been here before. Why I keep doing this, it's because I can't help myself. Arushka, you know you've been inside here before. Round back, there's a couple of windows. And after you look for a minute or two, you do see there is sort of at about eye level, right around directly opposite of where the front door is, you do see a brick that doesn't quite match the rest of the bricks.
Well, this is a terrible hiding spot for anything.
Well, maybe it's not there anymore then.
Or, I
We
mean,
should check at least.
Oh, I mean, if he's a street, I think he would know if someone came in here. And
taking it.
anyway,
Vorgo pulled the brick out.
It's probably a much safer hiding spot when the street around it wasn't here.
The hell you say?
There is a small leather bag.
I will pull the small leather bag out and uncover whatever is in it.
Welcome to the treasure portion of the plot. You open the bag. Also, it's very interesting that Vor is opening the bag, so I think I should tell you, I should send a private message to you telling you what's in the bag.
Oh no. Oh, all right.
Okay. Now. Oh, hell. Alright. Once again, we return to the land of, the land of delayed explanations while I pull up cards. Hang on. Cards. There we go. Okay. Come on. Come on.
The suspense is killing me.
I know, isn't it? There are a couple of objects in there. Great, it's using a term that I now also have to secondarily look up. This flat red and blue stone is the first thing that you notice.
Okay.
And I'm just telling you what you notice. That's fine. No, we're adults here. I'm just going to tell you. I'm not going to send the message. So there's a flat red and blue stone. And there's what looks like a little pill capsule. And then underneath that, there are 10 mage coins.
Okay, so there's a flat red and blue stone, a pill capsule, and 10 mage coins.
Yes. Now, the stone and the pill capsule, or rather the pill inside, are ephemera.
Okay.
And whoever ends up wanting wanting those ephemera, I will let you know what those are.
Does everyone still have 3 ephemera?
How are we on ephemera? Is anyone missing any ephemera?
Sha, you're muted.
I need another incantation, but I have all my ephemera.
Okay.
All right. Is there
So
it's just the 2 ephemera and the mage coins then?
Yep, that's everything that's in there.
So isn't there a thing about, like, can we pick up the ephemera? Because isn't there something about having too many ephemera?
You can have 3.
Oh, you can have 3? Oh, I thought you could only...
Safely. You can have
Oh,
3.
okay. I thought you could only have 2.
It's the, I believe this is a carryover from the cipher system.
Got it.
It's almost identical.
Well, does anybody recognize them?
Unfortunately, the person with the most lore is not here today. But I'll say that, you know, if you all take a look at them, well, okay. Vor, do you show these things to everyone?
Yeah, I showed them to everyone.
Okay. After a little time, you can kind of figure out what they're... I mean, there are a few things you can... Well... yeah, so... you can kind of look at them and sort of think about it and figure it out, and... or you can eventually... You see Derran and he can tell you. However you decide you want to sort this out. So the pill is what we call a movement bolus. And I think actually, Shaw being a maker might recognize these things anyway. It's a little orange pill. It's a level 3. And it gives you 4 bene to movement. It is, it's an orange pill. The color of magic is green.
That makes total sense.
Absolutely. Orange pill, green. Well, there's no orange sun, so that could have to do with it. All 9 suns, the invisible sun, all 8 suns, the invisible sun, and the Capri sun.
That one's the most important.
The rock is a level 6 item. It is called Lost Depth. It is a red and blue madstone. Perhaps somewhere in the books it describes more what a madstone is. If so, I have not looked at that carefully enough yet. But the effect is you become flat, virtually 2-dimensional. You can slip through the narrowest of cracks and gain +2 to any stealth-related activities. It has a 0 depletion. You have to check each round. And the magic color is gold.
Cool.
And the 10 mage coins are, of course, mage coins. They are worth a lot more than orbs.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's fair to divvy out the mage coins since there's 10 of them. Each of us takes 2, and Shantano takes the remaining 2.
Cool.
Mac will actually hand over one of his coins to Shaw.
What is that for?
Rent.
She takes it and hands it back to you and says, "No, thank you."
Oh, that's very generous of you.
Did you want to see if Axon was still using his house?
I mean, if he minds, he probably would have said something by now. I mean, he must be everywhere.
That does seem reasonable.
I suppose probably he could stop us if he really didn't want us to go in his house.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, here's a
All
little
right. So
kid.
Mac will.
There's
Yeah.
a little kid playing with Jax nearby who just sort of looks up and says, "Hey, it's your decision." And then,
When that happens, Vor looks at the kid and goes, "What are you sorry for?"
the kid looks around confused.
And then Vor just starts swearing.
Kid looks at you, just sort of staring.
She knocks back a glass of champagne and puts her hands on her hips.
So good.
Kid nervously bends down, gathers up his Jax, and then moves to another part of the street.
We're like,
Scaring
But
small children.
by the end of today, we're just going to be like the crazy people on Limerence Street that just randomly yell at you.
We're the old man on the porch.
Get off my lawn. Get off my Limerence Street.
Get off my street!
We found it. It's ours.
Arr.
Vor, you guys can just hear Vor mumbling quietly to herself about something silent treatment. Glaring at cobblestones.
Yeah, there are
So,
cobblestones here.
Yeah, she's glaring at them.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious. What did Axel do?
Arushka,
to
the
you?
cobblestones seem embarrassed for some reason.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious what he did to me too. Why he's sorry and didn't want to cause me more pain.
Do you think you guys dated before?
Possible, honestly. It's possible. Let's just say that. I don't remember it, but it's possible.
Oh, maybe it's a blessing then, Max says as he starts jiggling the handle and testing the door to see if it's.
Oh, it's
locked.
time to draw another card.
Yay.
All right. Let's see. We're interacting with the door now. Oh, look at that!
What'd you draw?
I drew the Forbidden Game. Its meanings, as a reminder, are danger, intellect, strategy, balance. The temptation to partake in the game is strong, but you know you shouldn't. It's dangerous. It's forbidden. It's far more than it seems.
Bor keeps yelling at the cobblestones. He's just stomping at them now.
The game's complexities that draw him in every move is a colossal undertaking. The game is bigger on the inside than the outside. It's bigger than the world it's played in. In divination, there's a threat here, but it is one that can be overcome with cleverness and strategy. The cleverness needs to take into account the balance of all involved factors, which can be daunting, as sometimes these factors are difficult to see. Yes, okay. All right. Let me do this. Yeah, that's fairly common. That's too much in the previous century. Oh crap, no, that's math. That's too easy.
Oh my god, you're looking at riddles.
Yes!
At least he skipped past the one that said, "Oh, that's math."
I mean,
Would you have preferred the one that was math?
I am only one of 4 people, and not the one jiggling the handle on the door.
Okay. Sure, we'll use this one. the globes light up when you jiggle the handle, and they say in unison, "Who seeks entry?"
Back the husk.
How do you tie 14 horses to 3 poles?
Why do you need to know the answer to that?
It will sort of hover there for a moment. And one of the globes will say, "Why not answer the question?"
Oh, so it's going to be one of those types of conversations, huh?
What do you
Mac is
think? The other globe says.
Mac is going to use his ability, Spirit of the Orator.
Okay. Is there a particular kind of oration you're looking for here?
Good question.
Because the right type of person might already know the right answer.
Who should we summon? Summon a Sphinx. Or some kind of like Sphinx-like spirit for this.
Oh my god. This conversation is going to last forever then. I'm just going to keep asking each other questions. Okay. So what this means is that you're going to answer the question with another riddle that is going to, the object being that you ask them something that so confounds them that they have to let you in.
Yes.
Okay.
So essentially it's going to be an interaction roll, but I get like 3 dice or 3 bene.
Yeah.
I get 3 bene.
Yeah, so you can, basically, so what question do you, it can be anything. I just, I'm curious what you ask them.
Why are there only 3 poles?
There we go. All right. This is going to be, okay, this is Axon. Wait, I have stats for Axon. Hold on. It's not directly Axon. This is Axon's security system. Holy crap. Okay. So Axon is level 10. So I'm going to knock this down to 8. And if you are, would you throw 3 at this? Is that what we're saying?
Yeah, I have 3 extra bene, but I also have a total of 6 with that extra 3 because I have 3 in interaction right now. So
let me take a look at something. For some reason, now before there's this, I don't know why I'm never able to remember this, as to why it is, as to how many, as to if you're allowed to spend multiple bene on rolls or not. We've gone back and forth about that, I think. I'm going to open this thing just as a reminder to myself. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to just keep that in mind. I'm going to ask you to make a roll, and we're going to see what happens.
fair enough. Can I use game theory to knock down a level?
Yes, you can.
Oh, what are we aiming for now?
So I'm going to just sort of make the assumption that since you've brought this person in and you're using game theory, we've knocked it down right now to 6 before any bene is expended.
Okay.
And then...
My game theory's level 3, by the way.
Oh, it's level 3? Oh, well, in
Yeah.
that case, 4. It's knocked down to 4.
Right. Well, I don't really need to get into this place. I'm just having some funister. So.
Oh my god.
Oh. Well, there we go.
That,
that went poorly.
the 2 globes are like... The 2 globes shatter because they cannot figure out what it is you're talking about. And the building seems to sort of go through this strange transformation as the door now seems to turn to as the door vanishes, and this becomes an entire building of solid brick.
Well, you win some, you lose some.
Mac.
You don't seem to be very good for houses.
I don't know. Your house seems to like me now well enough.
My house does not like you.
Oh. Are you saying it's an insincere?
I wouldn't say it's insincere. I think that my house itself has been very forthright about its opinions.
Wow.
Did you have someplace you wanted to go?
Yeah. Well, I guess since this is a dead end, I do wanted to check out this Derran of Pneuma. Maybe he might have some information on what a soul displacer is and why.
Yeah, didn't we see him when we were in that alternate reality bubble?
My friend did also tell me apparently who it was that helped me make all that stuff, since I'm not a maker.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't remember this person at all, but apparently her name is Gilda Morgan.
I'm sorry, what?
Gilda Morgan.
Oh. Really? Gilda
yeah,
was helping you.
apparently. I don't remember it personally, but
I introduced you briefly when we were at that party, the eternal party.
Oh.
She was, but she acted like she'd never met you before.
Maybe she's also missing memories?
Can't rule that out.
I suppose that's possible. It just doesn't seem likely. Not to be cynical or anything, but I don't really think it's very coincidental that you don't have any memories about your previous life, and Vor and I both got banished to the Gray, and seem to be running into all sorts of trouble with people who do not seem to like us, which I don't get, because I think we're a fucking delight, but...
But you got banished too, Mac?
Yeah.
Really?
I didn't tell you?
No.
When I pulled back in, I got pulled back into the actuality. And we'll just start walking and talking. Yeah, when I got pulled back into the actuality, I came back and appeared on the front lawn of my house, which happened to be on fire by a group of bloodlords.
That's unfortunate.
Shaw under her breath says, I told you, bad for houses.
So I don't know who they were, but they also took my Sorry, what do they call that hand thing again?
The
Virtual
Testament of Sons.
Yeah. Yeah, they also, well, they apparently robbed it, and they took my Testament of Sons, and, well, I lost that.
Yeah. You're walking around without a Testament of the Sons?
No, I got a new one.
Well, I don't have
But-
one.
Well, you were
Oh, you're an apostate. So.
apostate. You have one of those, I don't know, ridiculous barbell things.
It's no more ridiculous than carrying around a hand.
Okay. But there's no reason for them to take your Testament of Sons, is there?
Well, obviously, they didn't really want me to have a full power. So, anyway, if it wasn't for the fact that someone from the Church of Illuminism happened to be sailing by on his boat, managed to rescue me. But, yeah, and that's the story of how I'm homeless. Semi-homeless.
Wow.
Can't believe we didn't talk about this sooner, Mag.
You're busy.
Yeah,
Can't
but
blame.
I mean, you're my friend. It's not. I make time. Try to.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, things are just weird. We ended up going to, here we go, the green, the blue. Anyways, we've been pulled in all sorts of directions, so I don't even know which way is up these days.
Fair. So anyway, Derran of the Pneuma, right?
Yeah,
Good. That's a good place to start.
I hope so. He pulls out the Derran's card. Expert in mystical topics.
Probably an interesting character.
Yeah, maybe he might know us or of us.
Yep.
Give it a shot.
As we walk, I'm gonna pull Aroshka back a little bit and walk with her, and say, "Do you remember when we went to that strange place with the ocean and the being with the weird hand?"
Yeah.
He told me that in order to keep my friends safe, that I needed to find a design that I had worked on that had made its way to the Pneuma. I've worked with Gilda. Do you think that was how it would have made its way through you to the Pneuma?
I mean, all things considered, I could see that.
Okay. She stomps a foot a little bit. Says, I was just about to contact Gilda and talk to her about moving into my next level of the maker. Damn it!
I mean, possibly contacting Gilda is still a good idea.
I suppose that's true. I'm not very good at telling what people are thinking, but I'll try. And then I'll sort of click to catch up with everybody else.
Our next card is the Ambassador, the Adept of Visions, which I think we've had before. I think we've had most of these cards before, if not all of them. Someone hails from a far-off land, carrying a message of unity and civility. The ambassador wishes to talk, not to fight. She knows that words of wisdom offer a path to success that violence never could. Her words are careful and measured, never rash or ill-considered. If only there were more such individuals to make the world a better place. The ambassador is the adept of the Visions family. Her magic and skill come from her ability to persuade, which again brings us to the idea that words are as magical as any spell or ritual, just another type of incantation. In divination, for some, the ambassador card is a blessing. She indicates that calm heads and reason must prevail to remain on the path to success. That intellect is superior to brawn and conversation greater than conflict. But to those who already plan a more direct, confrontational, or even violent approach, this card can be a thorn in their side. Okay. You arrive at the address on the card, 223 Limerence Street. And let's see. You see on the front there's a door. It says Derran of the Pneuma, expert in mystical topics.
Well, doesn't seem like he's lacking in confidence.
Shall we?
Yeah. Mac just knocks on the door.
Okay. You hear, "Come in!"
And he'll just open it and breeze on through.
Okay. So this is like a small kind of, looks kind of like a study that you're entering. There's kind of a counter. There are a few little oddities. Books all over the place. It's not exactly what one would call completely clean, but it's sort of, it's a little homey, that you enter. You see, sort of sitting, sort of getting to his feet behind the this counter is this guy who looks very much like the one that you saw in the train station. He has a monocle in one eye. He is not wearing his coat right now, but he's picking up his monocle. One of his arms is, since he's not wearing his coat, you can kind of see he doesn't have his sleeves rolled up or anything, but he's wearing a long sleeve shirt and kind of a pullover. As he stands up, one of his hands is like blackened and shriveled, like very, like almost to the bone. It continues going up, and from what you can see of his arm, it looks like it's probably affects most of his arm. And his cat cries out for a moment. And he's like, "Not now, you just ate." Right. What can I do for you?
Well, I happen to have found this card, and
Oh, yes.
yeah, it was at the center of a fountain maze. Anyway,
Huh.
so I was just,
I wondered when that one was going to be found. They did insist on trying to hide these things all over the place. I don't know why they did that.
Okay.
I know some of you, don't I? You look
Do you?
familiar.
You?
Maybe.
He
I
just,
apparently know a lot of people that I didn't know that I knew.
yeah, a couple of your faces are familiar. I've probably met you in passing at the very least. He just sort of looks around and he sort of pauses on Vor for a bit. Now I know you from somewhere. Can you remind me your name?
Vormir Avanis, at your service.
Ah. No, I'm pretty sure we've met, but it's not coming to me. How can I help you?
Well, we did find this ephemera, which we aren't quite sure what it does. But I also
yes.
wanted to, yeah, I also wanted to ask you about how much trouble a soul displacer could be.
/ what it does.
He gestures, and the front door slams shut with the tinkling of a bell. Where did you hear about a soul displacer?
Oh, apparently I made one. It got stolen about, what did we say? It's been 2 days?
He squints, and he just sort of is like, he puts one hand over one eye, and he squints at you again, turns his head. He's now only looking at you through the monocle.
It's a Roshka, if that helps.
Oh.
Apparently that helps.
Oh.
That was one of yours, wasn't it?
Yes, it was stolen from my house, which everything else got blown up. So no worries, nothing else is going missing, but they definitely got the soul displacer out before I accidentally blew everything else up.
No, I'm remembering you now. Now you live down the street.
Well, I used to. I haven't for a while, and then, as I mentioned, definitely blew the house up.
And that's what that was.
Yeah.
Yeah, an etheric nexus. Who knew?
Yeah, that's apparently
Wait,
also
what?
a thing that I made. It blew up. It's gone now.
You actually tried to build the damn thing?
Oh, no, I succeeded in building one. But it blew up.
It was actually leaking, and yeah.
I'm amazed it held together as long as it did. Then, assuming it held together for any period of time at all.
Well, I mean, I wasn't in the house for like a long time, and it was there when I came back, and I definitely didn't yeah, it was there for a while.
I read your book on displacement theory. He sort of shakes his head. He says, it's dangerous stuff. Dangerous stuff. If it's half as dangerous as the things... It was supposed to be a thought exercise. I remember you saying that. I remember you saying no one should ever actually do it. Then I think you laughed after that, though.
That sounds like me.
This was a while ago.
That sounds like old Doroshka.
Thank you.
Anyways, so I did catch a little bit of vision of who took the soul displacer.
Yes, you can... Right, yes, no. Very dangerous if... to answer your initial question, yes, very dangerous. It'll knock the... and someone's got it. That's wonderful. It can knock a person's soul out of them. It's not a good thing. Actually, something... It depends on what scale you built the thing. How big was it?
It was kind of like a bazooka gun.
Oh, God.
My dear, you were nothing if not a little bit extra.
Don't
So
worry.
Mac is just gonna.
He's
Mac
now
is just
sitting...
gonna.
He's going slowly
adjust the-
sitting down.
Don't worry. I'm pretty much a different person now, and I'm mostly just collecting necks.
But it does sound like maybe we need to find
I
this thing.
swear, I thought you were joking when you said you were just going to dash one off in an afternoon.
No, apparently not. Well, it wasn't just me either. Evidently, I had help.
Oh, good.
Do you know Glinda Morgan?
Glenda Morgan.
Gilda Morden.
Gilda Morgan.
Gilda. No, I wasn't looking
I
at
used to know a Gilda Morgan. It was a while ago. She was out.
She was evidently involved.
Didn't she try to kill that Abernathy fellow a couple of times?
Yes.
Yes, that one. I've heard of her.
Yeah. Old lover spat.
We met her, and she pretended like she didn't know me, and I didn't remember that I knew her. So I don't know whether she's just forgotten about me or something more suspicious.
Well, here's the thing. How many people do you think we know or knew of that soul displacer gun? Also, more importantly, why would Dark-Eyed Manfred pick it up?
That who took it.
What?
Yeah, that's who took it.
Oh.
At least that's what I think it was. Who I think it was.
Ah.
It's kind of hard because he made his escape on a hang glider, which I didn't even think you could really do that, leaping off a second-story window.
Well, magic makes everything possible.
Yes, well,
Like you said,
apparently doesn't
Carson.
secure your house.
I see.
Do you still have this book that Aroshka wrote on displacement theory? Maybe we could find clues in it as to what we should be worried about and where it might have gone.
And he looks around. I might have a copy. He slowly starts getting up. He gets up. And he just sort of is looking back. He's like, and he sort of passes by the shelf, and then he stops, and he turns. He looks back at the shelf. Did one of you reserve? Did one of you reserve a copy of it?
Maybe.
He
If
looks
I
up.
did, I don't remember.
He looks up.
Oh, is it the book that I'm gonna pull out because plot purposes. I definitely have it on me. The book that I got from the. Is it this one?
Yeah, that's. He says, "Oh yes, that's. I think that was the one I was talking about. Yes."
I'm gonna hand it to him. No, we got it from the school. I didn't know where it came from, but if it's yours, I can give it back.
And,
I signed this copy.
And he looks up at the shelf. No. I've got this up here, and he's reaching up, and he pulls out, and he pulls out like there's a sticky note, and he's looking at it. Mac the Husk.
Yeah, that's me.
And a couple of books that apparently wanted me to hold. Don't know if you called in or someone called in for you, but this note appeared.
Mac will take the note and look at it.
It's not in your handwriting or anything. It just basically says Mac the Husk, and it has the two titles on it, and one of them is the title of Aroshka's book, which I can't remember the title of the book right now, but it has something to do.
We do this every time.
We do this every time. That's the title of the book, is We Do This Every Time. And one day I will write all this down. And the other one is the fifth tome.
Mac will hold up the fifth tome and say, "Do you have the first through fourth tomes too?"
He looks up. He says, "I should be very surprised if anyone has any of those. It's hard enough getting the fifth one. So did you want to buy these or not?" And he's holding up these two books, and one of them looks very much like the one Aroshka has, and the other one is a book that has in gold lettering across the side the fifth tome.
Yeah, I guess I'll take him. And he's going to actually take a look at Aroshka's book and try to compare it to the one that Aroshka has and see if there are any differences between the two.
Okay. So...
Oh, right. Weren't there bunches of pages and stuff missing from my copy? We should see if this one is whole and complete.
Yeah, he says... so this one is... this one he holds up Aroshka's book. He says... this is 5 crystal orbs. He holds up the fifth tome. He says, this one is Let me actually make sure I'm reading off the right thing. Okay. This one is 3 mage coins, and I can exchange for 3 mage coins and any 2 ephemera.
3 mage coins and 2 ephemera?
That is the price for you.
For me?
Oh,
What
yes.
did I ever do to you?
He says... No. He says... No. He says, it's, no, simply that is the, he says, no, that is, that's basically as low as I'm willing to, as I'm willing to part with it for. It's normally, I used to charge 5 mage coins for this thing.
About 2 mage coins, 2 ephemera, and a favor. I mean, let's be real. You wouldn't be here right now if it wasn't for us.
What? What do you mean?
Your whole street was gone
don't
from
know.
reality.
I think I would notice if the street vanished.
It was gone for quite a long time.
Uh-huh.
Well, you know, I have a house here, so I noticed, but I wasn't on the street when you were, and the whole street and everything in it vanished, which meant all the people too. So if you were here, you were gone. So you wouldn't have known because you were gone.
I mean, there was a seeker here after everybody on this street.
This is remarkably like what it was like talking to you before, I'm starting to remember. Look.
I'm right, though.
Yes, this is very much like that experience. Yes, I'm remembering. Look. Tell you what. There's something else I'd be willing to trade this for, if you're so inclined. There's a spell that I've been after. It's from a tome. It's from a tome called Book M. And there's rumors that it's circulating again. If you can get the spell is called Apex Predator out of that.
That sounds
You can get
very
me a copy.
dangerous.
You can get. Oh, I sincerely hope so. If you can get a hold of a copy of that for me, then I will. Then I will give you this tome.
Shaw just looks at everybody with this like, are we really going to get a spell called Apex Predator for this guy that we have no idea?
Hey, unrelated to that, I have a question. You might not know, but you might know. You're a Pneuma, right?
Yes.
I talked to this other Pneuma who said that I would, in the future, help the Pneuma. Is that like a specific one of you, or all of you in a general way?
Who were you talking to?
We didn't get a name. There was a little incident. We were fighting this train time monster thing, and we ended up in, well, only 2 of us. Me and one other person ended up in this weird subspace with a Pneuma who said that one of us had provided a service to you and one of us would do, and heavily implied that the one who already had done was the other person and not me.
What did
Which would
this?
imply that.
What did this individual look like?
They were just wearing a dark robe, glowy eyes. That was it. That was all I could see.
How many fingers?
Did we?
You
Out
did
of
not-
character.
Yes.
Did we notice?
Yeah, it had. Shaw turns and says, 6 fingers on its left hand.
This is sort of a gray area.
Yes.
Yeah.
He immediately stands up again. He goes to the front and he pulls down the blinds. He slowly hobbles forward. What in the name of Vizsla were you doing there?
I told you it was just a little magical accident.
Apparently,
No
we
one
gravitated
goes
there. Where were we?
That is the dark side of the gray, the night side of the gray.
Oh.
There's not supposed to be anything there, but there are rumors. And he hobbles around a little bit on his cane, and he goes over, and he is looking through his books until he eventually settles on a thin black volume that he pulls out. He settles down, he flips through. Information on it is rather sparse. There's an order of beings hovering out there, trying to seem to have some understanding of the underpinnings of the whole path. What fun. At least, well, that's one rumor. Another rumor is just that they know the absolute essence of truth and lies. And the absolute essence of lies the most.
That one makes more sense. So I guess what we're saying is that, as you can see, it sounds like we might be the sort of people that you would just want to be helpful to.
Well played.
He slams the book shut. You are very dangerous people.
That is another way of putting it.
But don't you want dangerous people on your side? Better to be dangerous for you than at you.
Don't know if I can trust you or not. Especially, well, given everything, he says, just sort of looking over at Aroshka.
I blew all the other stuff up, and we're gonna get the gun back and blow that one up too, probably.
Technically, I don't know how much comfort that is, because now that you don't have any of that left, if someone were to appear with one of your old things, you won't know or have any information as how to handle it.
Well, I didn't notice anything else missing from the house.
I mean, can you really be sure that you only had the only prototypes or notes about your work and did not share it with other people? I mean,
apparently Gilda Morgan knew about it, but
Mac, don't distract Derran.
yeah, focus here, focus.
But,
What?
I'm trying to save you money, Mac.
All right.
Listen, I could use that book. I will, upon my word, I will look for your apex predator. I happen to be on good terms with the Hunt. I'm sure she can help.
Ah. I'm certain that's the case. If you can get that for me, then you can have the book.
Can I, leaf through the book really quickly just to see what it's actually about? Because I don't recall knowing.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, are you asking me or are you asking Derran?
No, I'm asking you.
Okay. He's holding it right now. Actually, no, it's behind these counters, so it's like you'd have to come around the little counter space, and he's kind of occupying it right now. So it's not in immediate reach. But it's one of those things where, I mean, you can always try asking and see what happens.
Do you mind if I see the book first?
Yes, fine. And he reaches in and he picks it up. He's keeping his eye on you steadily while he shows you the book.
Okay. And he's just going to look through it really quickly.
While Mac is paging through the book, Vor will like casually lean on any available counter space, and say, "Derran, I understand you're an expert in many things. I have a quick question for you. Are you familiar with someone named Infalosa?"
Oh, yes.
Can you tell me who they are?
I'm rather curious as to why you want to know about this individual.
Well, maybe if you tell me who they are, I'll tell you why I want to know.
It's the High Priestess of the Midnight Cathedral.
Really?
Yes.
While Mac is leafing through the book, why are you interested in the head priestess of the Midnight Cathedral?
She says that to me.
Yeah.
Bor just looks at Mac and goes, "I'll tell you."
The Church of Midnight, I'm sure you don't have to be told, is an extraordinarily dangerous group.
So I've heard.
Seem to revel in the ideas of evil for evil's sake.
I mean, why else would you indulge in anything funnister?
He's sort of like his one eye is like just sort of starting to twitch a little bit when you say that.
Unrelated question. Were you working on anything with Verregan?
I'm now trying to remember things that Verregan was working on. It's been a little while. He says, "Oh, we batted a few things about. Haven't actually seen him in a little while."
I think I'll be seeing him anytime soon.
Hmm?
And were you working on anything recently?
Not directly. We were sort of corresponding a little bit. Now he moved in, and it's not long after he moved down into that house. Just that unincorporated neighborhood out by that field, that unincorporated neighborhood.
Yes.
South
Yeah.
of here. It was I don't know why he wanted to move in a place like that. It's a freaking eyesore. Just a blot on the landscape. I wouldn't be surprised if someone hasn't torn the thing from its foundations by now.
I think someone has.
Oh, well, that's at least some good news. Where's he living now, I wonder?
He's between homes.
That's just like him. It's not quite sure of who he is.
Thank you, Derran. Turn back to Mac. I'm like, Mac, have you made a decision yet?
Well, what did I find in the book?
Oh, yes, sorry. It looks as though after some degree of yes, this has apparently some spells, and after some degree of reading, you might be able to get some secrets out of it, possibly.
Huh. Okay. How about this? I'll pay we'll pay your fee for this book. but in exchange, you pay us 5 for us finding your spell.
He leans back. 4.
6.
Well, you seem to have lost your grip on mathematics, so I shall have to say good day to you.
Well, I guess you just didn't want that spell then.
If you're gonna pay the price to the thing, Shaw's going to give you a ephemera to hand over.
Oh, I mean, I have
Because-
2 that I could.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would just give you the bag of the ones that we found.
Well, I know, but the ones we found are like really high level ephemera, and I have like a level 1 really simple ephemera that
Fair enough.
let's not be ridiculous.
Well, yeah, I mean, I could get rid of 1. So, Mac is going to pull out the animal visage. So he pulled that out. 4, can I borrow a mage coin? We'll find that spell and we'll get 5. We'll get 5 mage coin. I'm sure there's going to be someone else out there who will pay for 6 for it.
Probably true.
Good luck finding them. All right, 4,
And
and I will throw in an incantation.
You can just get incantations. You
Not
just have
this
to-
one.
All right, I'll bite. What incantation is this?
Clouds part, reveal the white ship.
Ooh. That sounds fun. Funnister.
Want
Okay,
to get
a white
somewhere?
ship
This
is-
one can get you there.
Well, I mean, we are friends with the mime who has his own ship.
That's true. I have a mime friend with a ship.
Oh, indeed. Is it a real ship?
It's real enough.
It's a completely real ship.
Yeah, there's a lot of
If we try hard enough, it's real.
Try.
It's just it runs on faith.
Oh, that sounds perfectly safe.
I don't know what the rest of you are talking about.
As
right.
long as Vor is there, it will exist.
I mean, in the gray, I've always wanted my own boat.
This incantation summons a ship of ghosts from the Pale and takes you to the destination that you name. Can go up to 100 miles an hour. Travel to another sun in the space of an hour.
All the suns.
Any and every.
That does sound fairly useful.
Does.
Yeah. All right, that's fair. All right. Oh, we'll agree to those terms.
Very good. And so do you pay him the
Yeah.
3 mage coins and a couple of ephemera?
2. Wasn't it 2 mage coins? Or was it 3?
It was
Oh,
3.
It was 3.
And 2 ephemera. I hand over my Adriabatic flame.
Oh, I was always looking for one of these. This is clever. This is quite good.
I'll hand over the animal visage.
His eyes light up when he sees that. It's like, oh, very good. Very good indeed.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure you'll find it very useful. I totally did. He didn't.
Narrator, he didn't. He hands over this book, the 5th tome, and in short, the 5th tome has 5 spells and 4 secrets.
Ooh.
Ooh, well,
That are of
we
interest.
can all share this, right?
That are of interest. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we all got 5 spells and 4 secrets, essentially. Once we study it.
You collectively have among you, after studying
Have
it,
to divvy them up.
5 spells and 4 secrets.
4 secrets.
Okay.
I liked your logic there.
Okay.
I mean,
So
it's
we
a
each-
reusable book, right?
All right. Fine. So each of us gets a secret and a spell. Can we all, as an aside, if we find that Apex Predator spell, can we learn it first and then give him one?
I have to double check how the spells work, but probably.
Okay.
It's yeah, that's the thing. I have to see. I have to look into that, but I think so.
All right.
I don't think spells are one and done. I think you hold on to them. I think.
Pretty sure.
Yeah.
All right. So here's the deal, and we got to look for it. Do you have any clues or leads that we can chase down so, we at least have a place to start, or are we expected to find our own legwork?
And he says, "Well, I should check with the. There are a few contacts out with the that deal in rare books. Probably down in the Undersling, if you really want to go there. But there are. My understanding is that it is going through the various, shall we say, underground book circuits. So if you know anyone in that, arena, then I should recommend starting there."
All right. I suppose that's fair enough. All right. I think our business here is done. We should probably go work on finding that foreman now, shouldn't we?
I think that would be a good idea. You haven't seen the foreman around, have you, Derran?
So fellow owns that building of floating bits, right?
Indeed.
No, I've not seen him for a while, now that I think of it.
Well, thanks.
It's, you actually heard, you actually folks heard a little bit about who had abducted him at one point, but I don't remember who was in the room or who heard about it. But it was.
I definitely don't remember that.
It was from Her Elegance.
Yeah.
She's like his mom, right?
Sort of,
Yeah.
yeah. He's kind of like a. Yeah. She said
thought that it-
something about it.
Yeah.
She believed that he had been abducted by the Church of Midnight, coincidentally enough.
Ah.
Hmm.
I had that in my notes wrong.
Well, I guess we're gonna have to follow up on Vor's lead then.
Oh well, we'll go poking around the Church of Midnight.
Guess what could go wrong with that?
Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
totally fine.
It'll be fine.
We're 2 for 2 in meddling with things that we shouldn't be meddling with.
If you'll bear with me, I have one more little thing that's going on. As you are heading out of the, first of all, are you heading out of the store?
Yeah, I
Yes.
think the last thing that I'm going to ask Derran is where the best place is to grab lunch on Limerence Street.
Important.
Very.
The
Oh,
street
yes,
has
yes,
been
yes.
missing as long as we've been here, which means there's got to be a lunch place we've missed.
Gotta
Oh,
have,
indeed.
you have lunch at every restaurant in Summerhill.
There is a place just down the street that I happen to like that does excellent that makes these excellent soups and these soufflés out of musical notes.
Ooh.
It's
All right.
it's quite a spectacle. That one's good. Then, of course, there's across the street are the dancing pastries. You can't miss those.
Wait, are you saying we can have food made out of music and dancing pastries? Can we put together a show?
Well, the shows happen spontaneously, it seems, since they decided to open up across from each other. So it's more likely to happen than not.
Sounds delightful.
I would like to dine on a musical.
Let's go to lunch, friends.
We head out the door looking for the restaurant.
As you are heading out the door, you see this gentleman, who is, he's over six. He's about a little over 6 feet tall. He's wearing a black suit and kind of a top hat and 2 pairs of glasses. And he's hopping down off of this big kind of, it looks like a big delivery wagon, old timey, like ice wagon. Painted black. He's got a white horse that's drawing it. And as he hops down, he smiles. He says, "Ah, Vizli, yes."
Who's asking?
Aha. He bows. Ah, yes, forgive me, I am Goodman Jonas. And he nods and he's extending his hand.
Oral shake.
Excellent. I have come up here because we are. I was hoping to find some assistance. And it seems like I've been circling back and forth on the street for months now. It feels like it. But
Shocking.
What strange how time, runs in circles.
I suppose. But it is there is a. My town has been struck by it. Seems a sort of a malady. It is. I am having difficulty describing it. As it is a thing of great personal bewilderment for everyone. It is. Seems it is a form of bewilderment that people are being struck by as they are encountering it. It is. But it seems like it has been brought about by an evil magic. I do not know of these matters. You probably know more what I would be speaking of, but I can pay. I can pay if you would come out and help. If you would care to agree to come out and help soon. Then I can give you payment of I have Redivivius ice. Redivivus ice.
Do we know what that is?
Redivivus.
Redivivus? Redivivus ice?
Redivivus ice. He says, trying desperately to read it.
2 questions, Goodman Jonas. Where are you from that this thing is happening? And
I am from Yestervale.
Yesterdale?
Vale.
Yestervale.
Yes. Where we have the cavern of Redivivus ice.
Where is Yestervale?
It is to the south.
Gotcha. Okay.
So still in the Indigo.
Oh yes, in Indigo.
And what is redivivus ice?
I can show you. I have a block left. He goes to the back of the wagon if you want to. I have a block of it in the wagon if you wish to see.
Shaw definitely has like some stranger danger feelings and is kind of like skirting the side, like I am not going to be pulled into this van by this strange man with ice candy.
We're definitely curious. I'm drinking champagne and watching on with great interest.
If Yestervale's in the south, is Tomorrow Mountain in the north?
Maybe. It is. And he heads over and he opens the back, and you see this sort of bluish block of ice. And he's like, here. He takes this ice pick, and he chips off a bit. And he says, so I understand it is those who are the Vizsla do seem to like this. As I come up to sometimes make deliveries, and he sort of wraps it up, and he holds the chip of it out to anyone who wants to take it.
Oh, I will take it. This seems like drugs, and I am all in.
So
that's what Vor thinks it is at this point.
Yeah. You sort of look at it and you realize that it's as you're looking at it. It's cold, but it's not melting, and you can sense that there is sort of essence of sorcery within. And it is also not melting while it's there sort of wrapped in this cloth.
I smell it.
Ooh. So, in game terms, this seems to have 1 bene worth of sorcery in it.
Oh.
Stored.
What do you eat it? How do you get the sorcery out?
He says, I believe you touch it to your skin. That is what it does not melt until you do that.
I'm gonna do it.
Go on, Vor. Do it.
We'll absolutely do it if he doesn't stop me.
No, I mean he's willing to give each of you one chip as he's.
Just give it to us.
To show off the product.
And
First time's free.
Yeah, so you get this rush.
It is absolutely a drug.
as you feel 1 bene of sorcery flood into you.
Cool.
We just add that. Is that extra in addition to what we normally have?
Yeah. It's a temporary thing, but it's 1 additional bene. It's 1 additional sorcery bene. You can immediately gain. He says, so in the caverns below there is plenty of this, and if you can come and help, then we will let you. You can go in and take away as much as you can carry.
Wow, you guys must be really desperate.
We are rather. We cannot escape this bewilderment. If you can come, you can get there by Indigo Rail. We would need you here. We would need you there within a week.
How long of a travel is it by Indigo Rail?
It is not long.
Okay.
Less than a week?
Well, yes, obviously.
And your whole town is affected?
I think so, yes.
Even the Vizsla in your town?
We do not really have much in the way of Vizsla. This is why I come here.
Is it contagious? Whatever it
sure.
is that's going on.
I do not. Demons, I think. I don't know.
Demons.
Look at Mac.
Your department.
Maybe?
I don't really summon demons.
Some devilry. I do not know.
Well, it sounds like we'd need Sean to know too.
We will come if we can.
Yes.
You will come?
Within a week.
I'll see you in a week.
We will try.
Thank you. Thank you so much. If anyone has not yet gotten a chip, he will chip off a piece for each of you. And he will tip his hat. And he will give you great thanks, and he will give you basically the directions to Yestervale. Yestervale is just off the south side of the map of the blue of the indigo. I don't think I actually have the indigo map in the thing here, but you can take Indigo Rail basically from Sauterine. It goes down through the Distraction over to Tev Abius, and then you would take it south past Moloon, which is the southernmost thing it shows on the map, and it goes a bit southeast from there, and just off the map is Yestervale.
Well, it sounds like a pretty terrible spell. Maybe it's more of that Church of Midnight nonsense.
Possibly.
I mean, we don't have any other leads.
Probably. I mean, we should probably look into the Church of Midnight thing. I think the foreman is probably a high priority right now.
I would really appreciate it if we could find him. I do have a gift for him.
Yeah.
I'm estimating it's somewhere between like 130 and 150 miles. But it's a train, so, goes, which I think goes... I have not seen anywhere where it specifically tells me how fast Indigo Rail goes, but I'm assuming it's going to be roughly somewhere between 40 and 60 miles per hour.
Yeah, so it's not going to be too long. I mean, let's at least follow up to the Church of Midnight thing, and, maybe we'll have enough resources to deal with whatever it is that's going on there.
All right.
All right.
I mean, the last thing I would want is a whole Jenga tower to fall on the place that I crash at every now and then.
I would also appreciate it if that didn't happen.
Might be good. One never knows. So, unless anyone has anything else they want to make sure we take care of here, I think we're going to draw this one to a close.
Do we fade out to all of us eating musical soup and
Oh, yes.
and watching dancing pastries?
Yes. Sometime later, the soup sings and the pastries dance. And,
Better not be rent.
It always comes back to food with us.
it does, doesn't it?
Snack time. We're like, the world is ending, but first I need a snack.
I suppose. Well, let's see. So the musical is... Hang on. I can find out real quick what kind of musical it is.
Please tell me you have a random musical generator.
I wish. There probably is one. I could probably just go and find one, but this would be more for the. I don't really know them so well as other folks do, even though I probably should. But the card that I've drawn is the Tyrannical Clock. Oppression, time, countdown, schedule, repetition. So it's probably, this could be something one of those descended from Mozart things, where they use the same, where they have the same reprise over and over again.
Either that or Andrew Lloyd Webber.
So it easily could be, yes. I'm not going to... Are the pastries pretending to be cats? I'm not sure. They do... No, pastries do not pretend to be cats. But they do at various times slide around and act as though they're cars of a train. And I think we're going to stop there before we can take that any further.
Next episode is just a musical with pastries.
Pastries are doing Starlight Express.
Yes.
Basically. All right. Well, we have come to the end of our time once again, and so we shall go around, and we're going to do our joy and despair real quick because I'm remembering. I'm going to do that in order, and then we'll do our outros. So I'm going to start with Djinnaya. Do you think Shah got any joy or despair today? No. I actually also went back and looked at things, and I'm remembering a thing from the rules. You can actually only get one per session.
Yeah. I think that that Shah could have gotten despair for the knowledge that that Gilda was involved in shenanigans, because that's kind of her only real contact.
Oh, yes.
And also the person that Shah had really been investing a lot of social energy in. And so she's definitely feeling like she doesn't know how to navigate this maker world at all.
Yes.
And that was like the person she was hoping was going to be her ally. So I think she gets a despair for that.
Despair, yes. Good, good. Thank you, Aroshka, for bringing the despair to this. To Shah. And now we shall go over to Aroshka. Arras, do you think Aroshka got joy or despair today at all, or?
I could see Aroshka getting some despair with the knowledge that apparently the one thing that got stolen from her house is like really fucking dangerous.
Yes, that's been confirmed. Also, yeah, basically the one thing I do want to point out is that your book now has sections. Folks were talking about going and comparing.
Oh yeah,
the sections have filled back in now that Limerence Street is back.
I can learn things about my own research.
Yes, and the more you look, the more you realize this was a really dangerous thing.
Oops.
This isn't a thing you're supposed to do. You're not supposed to displace people's souls.
Hashtag regrets.
Yeah. And apparently there are ways, depending on how you skew it, to make it, to level. Based on, if you're reading this right, based on the size of the despair gun, based on the size of the
Yes.
of the soul displacer, also possibly known as a despair gun, you could probably take out enough. You could probably take out everybody in a one-story building.
Oh dear.
Oops.
So yes, that's definitely worth despair. So
You
Anino,
can displace everybody's soul in that entire building. One shot.
You probably, let's say if it's a maybe about the size of a cottage. You probably wouldn't be able to take out, like, say, a one-level library. But you could take out, like, a cottage, maybe a duplex house if you're standing in the right spot. Yeah.
That doesn't sound too bad.
That's rough. Yeah, no. That's only like... the ordinary number of occupants for there. You're going to be maybe like 10 people. Maybe
it's
10
not
people
bad.
at a time.
Yeah.
It's not that bad. So, Anino, do you feel as though you got any joy or despair today?
I am going to pass because we broke the rule last week and I got both the joy and
I
despair,
had forgotten. That's the problem.
Yeah.
It's this thing that I knew, but I had forgotten.
That's cool. So that's fine.
All right. So, Danielle, do you think that Vor got any joy or despair today?
I will take a despair for Vor as she learns that she was curtailed by the High Priestess of the Midnight Cathedral, which is probably not someone she really wants to have as an enemy.
No.
Whoops.
All right. Yep. Okay. Well, that's our session. We shall now go around and do our outros. Again, feel free to say where folks can find you, and any thoughts you have about this session, final thoughts, standout moments, etc. And we shall begin with Danielle.
Hello, everyone. My name is Danielle. I am at RyRacontor on Twitter, where you can find me tweeting about all kinds of nerdy stuff, from books to TVs to games, and everything in between. You can catch me, in addition to catching me here, you can also catch me over on Roll for Change on Fridays at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. We are back with the Portland Files Season 2, a Dresden Files RPG game. My character may have accidentally gained the ability to bring things back from the dead. I don't know. We're going to find out next week. And on Saturdays at noon, you can find me in Star Wars Vagabonds, where I play an ex-Imperial science officer. So, yeah, come have fun with Fate.
Yay! Did you have any final words or anything about the session? Or
I have a lot of new avenues to explore with Vor, figuring out who the heck and how and why she got screwed. And it was fun catching up on what happened last time when I wasn't here, because it sounds like y'all had a freaking trip.
I know why so many books explode in this campaign. It's very strange. Books are the problem. Anino, what's up?
Hey, my name's Anino. You can find me on Twitter at Anino Gaming. You can also find a schedule of all the tabletop role-playing games that I am currently involved in on my website, which is aninogaming.com. Bunister is pretty much my only contribution from this game, and I'm okay with that. Let's see. Come back here tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern Time for Dark Matter, when Origami Shuriken takes our relatively new crew of ne'er-do-wells as they confront an alchemist in space.
Nice. Yes. I am looking forward to that. I am very much looking forward to that. Okay, and now over to Arras.
Hello, I am Arras, or Animus Panthera, and I'm Animus Panthera or Animus.Panthera practically everywhere, although I'm mostly active on Twitter. The only place you can watch me play games is right here on Saturday nights, playing this ridiculous game. I also cosplay, and I'm a zoologist, so if you like talking about cosplay, tabletop gaming, or animals, I would love to chat about those things. Also, this year, 2020, I'm giving away a set of dice every month. I just started a new giveaway tonight, so if you like free dice, check that out.
Yay. Did you have any final thoughts or anything you wanted to say on that?
I really appreciate that somehow we always are constantly like, what if we ate though?
Awesome. And finally over to Djinnaya.
Hello, my name is Djinnaya, and I play good games with nice people. And you can find me at Djinnaya pretty much anywhere. You can see me back here next Saturday. I have another project that's going to be announced in the middle of this month. So if you're curious what that is, you should either follow me on Twitch or follow me on Twitter, and you will find out there. And I don't know. I just love kind of the random shenanigans we get into. I love that every time that we walk into a building that's like a normal place of business, we're like, it's like the bisexual chair sit of shopping. Like, we can't possibly enter a place and like engage in regular business. We're always like, wait, how do we fuck with this thing? I just think that that's fantastic. Like, we have not, like, you talk about shopping episodes being really boring in games, but literally every time this group gets into a store, things go absolutely sideways.
Usually something explodes, or you're running from something, or I don't understand why that happens.
Or we steal something, or we end up with a quest, or like, I mean, I guess this time at least we actually engaged in like commerce.
Yeah, this was
You
weird.
did buy something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You went into a store and bought something. What the hell?
That's got to be a first.
No. We did go and buy stuff at that big box store.
That's true. We
Yeah,
just
that's completely
almost
normal.
died in the process.
Yeah.
Hey, I figured out how to break the big box store. If we wanted to, we could go back and do that.
It was the shoe store that we did not buy anything at.
No, we didn't.
Yes.
We were like, let's just try on these sparkly shoes, and then we stole a mirror and hightailed it out of there.
I see nothing wrong with any of this.
No.
Yeah, that's completely good.
Yep.
That's awesome. Well, once again, I'm Jim Ryan. You can find me at Other Doc on both Twitch and Twitter. My website is jimyesthatjim.com, where you can find my Geek Observation podcast and links to my various other podcasts, audio dramas, writings, and such. I've got links down below to my website, Twitter, YouTube channel, and some of my fiction and games I've been working on and posting on itch, along with links to game signups and applications to join our Discord. On this channel, on Sundays, we are going to attempt to bring back one-shots. Tomorrow, oh god, it's tomorrow. Tomorrow, we have a one-shot of Fall of Magic, which we're going to try desperately to cram into 3 hours. We're going to do the speed run. We'll see what happens. It's a little earlier now. They're from like roughly 3 to 6. From roughly 3 to 6 Eastern. So we're going to be doing that wonderful storytelling game. Of course, Sunday nights we have our Dark Matter campaign, Ghosts of Saltmaw. We're gonna go beat up an alchemist. Or whatever it is that he's left behind, more likely. On Monday nights, I'm over on Tales from the Grim running Deadlands. On Tuesdays, we have our short campaigns returning, our mini campaigns, monthly mini campaigns, and the mini campaign for February is Apocalypse World. Finally getting around to the thing that started all these Apocalypse Engine games. So I'm very much looking forward to that. Wednesday nights, we have our campaign of Masks, Doctropolis, Rebels with a Cause, run by Mole, where we decided the chief of police is someone named Clyde Ho. We're not sure who that is. It's a lovely place. And then back around to Saturday, and when we'll have more of this. And so I don't have any signups actually running right this second, hopefully within the next day or so, assuming I can get all my brain pieces in the right place. I'm going to try to open signups for a one-shot of Shotguns and Sorcery, if I have enough time to plan everything for it. Hopefully, we'll be doing that. That's a Cypher System game that's been a long time in the making. They got the license very early on, and it finally came out not too long ago. And I just want to play a little bit in Dragon City. I hope we have time to look through that and get a one-shot out of that. Signups will be open for that soon. You can either go down below here and click on RPG sign up, or go to jimyesthatjim.com and click on game sign up. As always, beginners are welcome. Well, when we hit the end card, I am going to send a raid over to, let's see, who is doing things? Oh. Yes, let's raid Mem. Uncertain Memory is playing games. She's in our Dark Matter campaign. We can do that. Let's go say hi and scare the heck out of her. No, it's so we're gonna go over there and say hi. And if you are welcome if you are so inclined to go over there and say hi with us. Again, that will be when we hit the end card. In the meantime, folks, thanks very much for watching. Take care, and I will see you next week. Farewell.